Hello, Mark Larsen here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Brooke Bownes. Thank you for joining us, Brooke. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Brooke, we talked the other day, had a great conversation. I look forward to this one too. So, a little bit of background for easy for me to say. So, where are you located, and kind of just a little bit of background?
I'm located in the gorgeous countryside of Shropshire in the UK, which is, if anybody doesn't know it too well, it's next door to Wales, the country. So it's very, very green here because we get quite a bit of rain. So it's very
That's
beautiful.
very. Is that where you grew up?
No, I grew up in East Anglia, which is like further down, sort of east on the east coast, east south coast. So yeah, but
Okay,
yeah,
very nice.
I've been here since 1999. So.
Okay, that's cool. So, what do you do? You have a nice office there. What do you do for every day?
I've got a couple of hats actually. I'm a coach and a therapist, and also a best-selling author and a speaker.
Wow, that's quite a few. So, how long have you been doing all those hats?
I became an author back in September 21, so a few
Cool.
years for that one. And I've been coaching most of my life, and then the last few years I then decided to like do the therapy as well, and speaking is something I've always kind of just really enjoyed doing. When I get the opportunity to share my story to help others, then I'll go and do it.
Wow. So when you were growing up, I was asking on the Dreamcatcher podcast, was it your dream growing up? Is that what you really wanted to do when you grew up?
No,
No?
the only thing I ever wanted to do when I grew up was to be a mum.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. So
Yeah.
do you have kids?
Yeah, I've got 4 children and 9
Nice.
grandchildren, and number 10 is on its way.
Nice. Very nice. So there's gonna be a lot of there is a lot of activity, a lot of energy there. Are they close by then, so you get to see them?
Yeah, well, I say yes. 3 of them live in about 25-minute drive from me, and 1 of them lives in New Zealand.
Oh, that's
3.
that's a little further.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah,
been
sh
down? Have you been
no,
down there?
she only emigrated out there last September, so and she's coming back, next year, so the following year I'll probably go out to visit her.
That looks like such a beautiful country. I mean,
Mm.
that is on my list to get to visit. Well, pretty much all. I love to travel. So okay, mom. So what got you started with what you're doing today?
I'd love to say it was a great epiphany of something, but it wasn't. It was an accident, actually.
Okay.
I've always helped and my friends out, and a few friends were saying to me up at one point, "You really should do this coaching like as a business because you've helped us all out so much." I just really enjoy doing it. I like to ask people questions to get them to think differently, to look at things in a different way. And then another friend of mine said, "I'm going on this coaching diploma weekend. It's a free weekend, but I don't want to go on my own. And I know you love to learn. Will you come with me?" I'm
Uh
like,
huh.
"Yeah, sure, yeah." 'Cause
Yeah.
I consider myself a lifetime learner.
Me
So we
too.
went along to this coaching weekend. I thought, I'm already doing that. I'm already doing that. I'm already doing that. So I thought,
Oh,
okay, I'll go ahead and like carry on and do my actual full coaching qualification. And then kind of like the rest they said is history. So
yeah.
yeah, it went on from there, and I just then got into the bit about where my mindset is like, I really want to have a strong mindset, and it was like, yes, feel the fear and do it anyway. And then there was
Yes.
one day that I stood at the back of the room and I was getting all mic'd up to go on stage. I thought,
Right.
my mind wants to do this, but my body's going, nah, I want to run the other way. And I thought, there's something not
I
quite
hear
right
you.
here. Something's, the cliche is like kind of something's missing here. And
Right.
then I realized that as a child, I had a lot of trauma, and I had a lot of trauma sort of stuck in my body, and a lot of emotions that I didn't need that I was carrying around. So I
Why?
then kind of went down the route of like the therapy and got the missing piece of the puzzle, so to speak, and got the trauma released out of my body, which then my body and my mind were then aligned and wanted to do things together. So I
Nice.
then went on to become a therapist to help people to have the same releases that I've had in my life.
Wow. And I wonder because I had a lot of still dealing with a lot of trauma that I had it when I was younger, and I've been asked to speak on stage, and I have not yet done it. And it's getting more to where I see myself doing that. But I wonder if I wouldn't have the same thing at the back of the stage. Um, my mind thinks that's a great idea. I don't know if my body be probably on the other side of the room quickly. So how did you deal with that? I mean, you went back to school, or just how did you deal with that?
I kind of started doing some research because I love to read. So I sort of researched about how why the body and the mind kind of conflict with each other sometimes, because obviously the logical part of my mind was saying, yes, I want to go on stage and share my story and help other people to see what's possible and get
Right.
them thinking about what they could do. But why is not my body on board?
Mhm.
But our body remembers things that happen. So, and if it's not processed, things that happen to us when we are like 5 or 6 will
Right.
feel like it's real to our bodies today. And I do a lot of inner child work. So I see it as like our inner child is going, no, 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 that's far too scary because when we were
Yeah.
6, this happened when we
Right,
spoke out.
right.
So I then kind of got into that and researched all that, and then started having therapy to deal with my own stuff. And then actually went on and done the courses to become a therapist to help to deal with the stuff that I needed to deal with. And so I could then help other people do that as well.
Nice. Because there are, I mean, I think we all have something we need to deal with. I mean, we all had traumas and everything. So do you men and women both, or is there different ages that you deal with, or just pretty
Yeah,
much?
I mainly work with women, but I have got some male clients, and it's normally women that are sort of like 35 plus who kind of grew up in the generations where our parents said to us, children should be seen and not heard. Stop doing
Mm.
that. You're showing off. Nobody likes to show off, and all
Yeah.
those kind of things. Like good girls shouldn't get angry. You know,
Yeah.
you know, boys don't cry because you have to man up and all those sorts of things. And they are like throwaway sentences, and it's not a case of blaming the parents, it's because their parents probably heard that when they were growing up. So
True.
they're just repeating the things that they know. But what I like to work with is the person that sat in front of me, how they're feeling about themselves right now. And again, looking back at what happened so they can look at it in a different perspective
Yeah.
and deal with it and reframe it so they can then move forward, because our belief system will either propel us forward or hold us back depending on how we believe. And then one sentence, if we keep repeating it, it then becomes our truth and our belief, and it's like it becomes a fact in our mind. So it's like, okay, well, because I'm a girl, I need to be really good or I'm not going to get the love that I want. And
Right.
that's not necessarily what the parents meant by that, but that's
Right.
how a child will perceive it, because
Exactly.
children see things very, very black and white. Like I often have people come to me and say, I'm stupid. I'm like, okay, what makes you think that? Oh, well, because
Mhm.
I overheard my auntie say that my sister was a clever one. So therefore I must be stupid. And that's how children kind of see it, very black and
Right.
white. But when I say maybe there's like two clever children in the family, and they're like, even though they're an adult, that, oh, I hadn't thought
Right.
about that yet, but actually, yes, logically, that as an adult, that now makes sense, but they're still carrying that belief from when they was a child. And so then
Yes.
they realize, oh, actually, yeah, just because my sister's clever, it doesn't mean to say that I'm not clever as well.
So how do people find you to work with you?
Normally through doing podcasts like this, because I,
Okay.
I I leave my email address, and I will say that if anybody wants to have like a 20-minute call with me just to see if I can help them out in any way, and
Okay.
or on social media. I do a lot of social media, and I also like give out my email address a lot as well. So, and I
Okay.
do a lot of in-person networking and online networking. So, and
Perfect.
referrals. I get a lot of referrals from clients I'm
Okay.
already working with.
How long have you been doing this?
Well, I actually been doing it quite a while, but then I gave up my corporate job in December 19, just before COVID, and did
Okay.
this like full time. So
Yeah.
yeah, so sort of full time really since December 19.
Okay. So you had a corporate job before that. Did you like doing that?
Yeah, yeah, it was also like coaching as well, but it came to the stage where I was so busy doing my coaching and therapy work, and it's like my corporate work, something had to give, and I didn't want to give up my coaching and therapy
I
work,
get it.
so the corporate went, and I absolutely love doing what I do now, and I can do more of it now, obviously.
And I can tell your vibe is great. I can tell you definitely have a passion for it. So for the coaching, is it a set time or is it vary on each person? How long the coaching goes on?
I tend to do like a 12-week, 12 sessions, and they don't have to be every week, because that way, what I tend to do is we kind of like research, find out where the beliefs come from. Then we do like a rewiring system, a reprogramming, and then we do like a reinforcement. So I like to have like the 12 sessions to really enforce that. But if somebody's already done a lot of work, I also do like a 4 and 8 week sessions as well with them as well. So it's very bespoke, so it does depend on the actual person and what they need at the
Sure.
time.
That makes sense. I mean, because we're all different on different journeys, that's for sure. So
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't have time. And you said you did 4 different things. So you did the speaking and so, do you have a lot of speaking engagements coming up?
That's not like one of my main things. I tend to do it if people want me to like speak in like their membership groups or like at a workshop or something like that. I went to an event a couple of weeks ago and they asked me to be on the panel and it was like a Q&A and we were just
Okay,
answering questions and stuff. So it's not something I'm aiming to do like as a full-time thing. It's just a good way to like get my message out to
sure,
more people.
sure. Now and you said you do writing?
Yeah. Yeah,
So have
I've
you
got a book, that is
okay,
called You Can Have It: How to Break Through Self-Sabotage. So it's the
nice.
12 steps that I took to break through my own self-sabotage, and I actually wrote and published that book in 90 days.
Days, oh my gosh. Self-published?
Yeah.
That's still I mean, that's moving. So, where can people find the book? Is it on, like, Amazon
Yep,
or
it's on Amazon, yep. Yeah, if you just type in my name, or the title, it'll come up, yeah. You can get it
oh,
either on paperback or Kindle.
okay. So, you've already done some and are doing so many things. What does 5 years look like? What would you like where would you like to be in the near future?
Well, I'm researching my second book now, so
Okay,
I'd like to write a few more books. I've got kind of an idea of doing because these are quite small books. They're like 30,000 words. They're not huge books, and
okay.
they've got exercises at the end of each chapter that you can work through to kind of help you embed the
Oh, very
chapter you've
nice.
just read. And then I would love to write my life story in a book. That will take a bit longer than 90 days, but yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That is very cool. So, so when you work with somebody, are there people that they aren't in the right mindset yet, or that you just can't move forward, or pretty much everybody can move forward, maybe not at the same pace, but have you ever had somebody that you couldn't really help? I mean, because of their mindset.
No, because what I do is help them understand where their mindset is right now, and I give them the tools to work with. So when
Okay.
things come up, my plan isn't to work with people for a long, long time. It's to give them the tools so they can feel empowered, so they can go off and do
Yes.
the stuff they want to. Some of my clients will have like a retainer and just like have a call once a month just to kind of check in
Okay.
and like see how things go. As I will say, life is always life, and sometimes things crop up.
Oh
But no,
yes.
once people understand how our minds and bodies work, and the way I do a lot of what I call inner child reprogramming. So I
Okay.
help them to give their inner child the things that they didn't feel that they got as a child. So we actually reparent ourselves, and I help them to do that. So they've got the tools that they need. So like when something like procrastination comes up, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm procrastinating again.
Mm-hmm.
Procrastination is what I call a part that comes in to protect our inner child, because when our inner child feels like not worthy, good enough, lovable, or important, it will stop us doing something. A bit like when I was going to talk on stage, like my inner child would go, no, 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 we can't do this kind of
Right.
thing. So it will bring in like self-sabotage or procrastination. And it's understanding why that it feels it needs to bring in something to protect it. These parts, even though they don't help us, they come in well intentioned because they want to protect our inner child. So it's when people understand how that all goes on and how it works and how they can help themselves do it, then they can break through those belief systems that have been holding them back, and they can look at them in a logical point of view and actually deal with them and change how they feel about it.
Wow. That makes me I have a friend who self-sabotages relationships, and, I always kinda wondered what he was doing there, but he's kinda protecting his inner child?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always say, I want you to imagine that you've got you as your adult self, then you've got your inner child. And then I always like to imagine that all the parts like self-sabotage, anger, sadness, procrastination, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, they're all like sat, I imagine them like on a cargo plane with their parachutes on, waiting for their red light to flash. And like when the inner child
I like
doesn't feel safe, it will like parachute down, and it's like a protection. So like if you've got an actual open wound on your arm, you put
right,
something on it to protect it so
right,
it doesn't hurt anymore. So for
exactly.
the inner child, it's less painful to procrastinate than it would be to go out, maybe stand on stage and talk in front of a load of people, because
Wow.
it's the wounded inner child that feels wounded. And to actually stand up on that stage would be like opening that wound and sticking, getting some salt in it
Yeah.
or something.
Right,
So,
yeah.
so the if we procrastinate, the child feels safe. So like your wound is like protected and safe when you've got that Band-Aid over it.
Sure, sure.
So it's like a protection thing, and it comes with like I said, well-meaning, but it doesn't always help us. So once you understand that, you can actually think, okay, my procrastinator part's just popped up. And it's basically your inner child sending you a message saying something's not quite right here.
Mm.
So I was like, kind of like, think about it. If I said to you, do you drive a car?
I
Yeah.
do.
So if I said to you, can you pop down to the store and get me some milk? You'd be like,
Mhm.
yeah, okay. Your
Right.
mind would be, yeah, fine. And your body wouldn't react. But if I said to you, okay, Mark, we're going to go stand on stage in front of 50,000 people and we're going to, you'd be like, your head would probably go, oh, that sounds fun. And your body'd go, yeah.
Would.
And that's your inner child going, hang on a minute. Yeah, that sounds a bit too scary, because
Uh-huh.
I also think that our inner child is a bit like a puppet master. When our inner child is happy and confident it can do something, like i.e. for you, jump in the car and go get some milk, no
Right.
issue. Do it quite often. So your inner child is like the puppet master, happily letting you dance and play. But the minute you logically want to go and do something that's scary or
Mhm.
brings up too much
Right.
emotion for your inner child, they pull them puppet strings back and go, well, no, we're not doing that. And that's why your
Wow.
friend will be self-sabotaging, because something would have happened along the way that's painful. And his
Mhm.
inner child doesn't want to feel that pain again. It's too much to feel. So he then
Understand.
needs to like heal that wound. And that's the work I do when I work with the people in
Wow.
my sessions. I help them
Wow.
to heal those wounds.
It kinda gives me a whole new understanding of what his actions. So, and maybe mine, because I've dealt with imposter syndrome. I know that one all too well. I am much better than I ever used to be, because I mean, I really had that. Um, Still comes up, crops up every once in a while, but it is one I definitely, did not know about when I was younger, what I was doing, but, very much. And then I keep pushing myself. I mean, this was doing starting a podcast was definitely pushing myself, and I think this is like the 325th episode here. And then the stage is a thing I have to do. You think that's good to force that?
Well, some people are very much like feel the fear and do it anyway. And I
Mhm.
understand that to a degree, but I've done more of the therapy work. I'm more like, okay, feel that fear, find out where that fear's come from, process it, then go on and enjoy doing the thing that you want to do. So instead of pushing yourself and getting up on stage and feeling really like, I feel sick,
Uh-huh.
my palms are sweating, my heart's pounding.
Yeah.
Actually, find out the story about why you're scared about going on stage, process that, and then have your inner child and your adult mind happily going on that stage and actually enjoying it, which is a whole lot
Awesome.
better than going out
Yes.
to think, I can do this, I can do this, I can push through, because I've done both, and I definitely know it's better to have your inner child on board and happy to go ahead and do the thing you want to do. But you
I
know,
love that.
there is sometimes you do have to, because when we do anything new, we're going to get these bits of nerves and think,
True.
because we've never done it, we're like, we don't know what's going to happen. So it's our body's way of protecting it. It's doing a great job to help us survive, because at the end of the day, our subconscious mind is there to help us survive
Yes.
and to keep us safe. It's not there to make us happy or any other thing. So it's
Mhm.
doing a great job the best way it can. But when we
Yes.
actually realize there's something going on, some wounds there that need to be healed, we can then heal them, then we can go ahead and do the things that we want to do and enjoy doing them.
Amen. I love that. And I think you helped me there.
Yes.
It's just it's definitely a journey. It is. I look back to how far I've come from when I was in school and was awarded I got an award for being the quietest person in school. My protection, if I didn't say anything I couldn't, get hurt.
Yeah.
And this is so cool. I mean, do you help people in the United States or all around the world?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got clients in America, Switzerland, France, Germany, Spain, and England.
That's a few places. Oh my gosh. And a lot of time zones there too.
Yeah.
So do you do it just during the week or do you do it whenever works out for them or how does that work?
I normally work Monday to Thursday. Fridays are my play day, and I normally go off if my
Gotta have
daughter's
those.
free. We go off and play, and then when the children come home from school, I see them. Yeah, but I do work sometimes if it's like with America, or if I'm working with somebody in Australia or
Right.
New Zealand, I'll work in the evenings to like, but yeah, but weekends is normally my family time, so I've got
Yeah.
good boundaries with things like that. So
Very
yeah.
important. Yes, very important. So you said playtime. What are some things you like to do in your spare time? Which might probably isn't much.
Yeah, no. Fridays, when I started my business, I decided that I was going to have it the way I create it, the way I wanted to live my life. So
Yes, yes.
Monday to Friday, I'll work, and then Fridays is like I'll either go off and have a spa day with a friend, or like if my
Nice.
daughter's free, I'll go meet her for lunch, and we'll go and do something. And then when we pick the children up
Perfect.
from school, then I'll go play with the grandchildren, or I'll sometimes just have a nice day off on my own and go somewhere and go for a nice walk in the woods somewhere because I live in the countryside. Or just
Oh, very
as I'm
nice.
an introvert, sometimes I'll just have the day sat on my sofa with a dog at my feet reading a book and with a cup of tea, and I'm in my element.
Yeah, it is. I understand that 100%. That's a great way to recharge. It is so nice. But so you probably have been to the United States?
Pardon?
Have you been to the United States?
Yeah, yeah, I lived in America
Oh,
for a
did
while
you?
twice.
Okay.
Yeah, lived in New York State and in Ohio.
Okay. Did you like the United States?
Yeah, yeah, and I've been to California a couple of times as well. Yeah,
California.
when I was younger. Yeah.
Love California, but I love to travel. So, where you live, if I was coming to see you, what would be some things to see in your area?
The most famous thing to see, I think, is the Iron Bridge, because it's where like the ironworks kind of like started. So that's quite a famous
Really?
place, and we've got lots of castles in
Really?
about 20 minutes away. I've got a lovely castle. I actually got married in that castle, yeah.
That's awesome.
And we've got loads of really gorgeous old churches and stuff as well. So there's lots of different
Beautiful.
things to see, depending on what you're interested in, and we've got some beautiful countryside as well in England.
I would love that. So I love traveling. It's the best education there is. I mean, it is so great. So you said you speak. Have you have TED Talk or TEDx? Or have you ever thought about doing that?
No, I haven't done one yet, but it is on the plans to do in the next couple of years. Yeah, I would like to do a
Nice.
TEDx talk.
Okay. So do you have any speaking engagements coming up before the end of the year ends?
I've actually got my own event that I'm doing on the 24th of October, so I will be talking at that. Yeah.
Nice. So what is your event about? I mean, I can kind of guess, but what exactly is it about?
Well, it's one of those things that I'm very much a person that likes to walk my walk, and there's lots of events going on in England, but I discovered that because I live in the countryside, they're normally in like the bigger cities, and I caught myself saying, yeah, it'd be nice if there was some more locally, and I thought actually,
Yeah.
well, I'm a solution person, so I was like, okay, we'll create my own event locally. So
Amen.
but,
Yes.
for all the business owners that are around here, so we're going to have like a networking slash brainstorming slash some mindset work stuff to help people, wherever they're stuck in their business. So I've got a load of business people together, and we're going to kind of do some brainstorming, because sometimes when you're in your business, you can't always see a solution, but somebody else may say
True.
something and set off an idea or something. So yeah, just to help like the local businesses to and support them really, because when you're a solopreneur like I am, and you're sat in your office,
Yes.
you don't actually physically see people. Yeah, we
Right.
see people in the screen, but you don't
Right.
very often see actual people. So it's quite
Yeah,
nice to get together in person
it is.
sometimes and chat.
Yeah, it is. So how do people attend your event? I mean, is there a place they can come? Like if I wanted to attend it, I could come over there and attend it, or is it
Yeah,
open to everybody?
yeah, it's
Okay.
open to everybody. It's like on an Eventbrite, which is like a ticket
Okay.
sales
I know that
place, and
one.
you just click the link and pay the money, and then turn up on the day.
Okay. It's a day long, or is it longer than that?
It's 3.5 hours, that one is, so it's like
3.5 hours. Okay.
from 9:30 till 1,
Okay.
and
That's
there's
quite a
cake as
while.
well. I'm bringing cake.
Hey, cake is good. What kind of cake? What
I
kind of
think
cake
I'm
are you
probably gonna
bringing?
make chocolate cupcakes, I think.
Oh, yeah, can't go wrong with chocolate.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. I love that. Um, Brooke, before we end the podcast, anything else you would love to have the audience know about what Brooke does, or tidbits to help people that are struggling?
Yeah, I think if you're struggling, get curious. Curiosity is my best friend. It's like, okay, where's that story coming from? If you catch yourself saying, "Oh, I can't do this,"
Right.
think, okay, why do I think or believe that I can't do this? Where is that story's come from? Because it will be a story that's come from somewhere. It may be something that somebody said, a sentence that was thrown away. Like, for
Right.
example, in my book, I talk about one of my clients who thought she was rubbish at maths because when she was 7, she went to do a maths sum on the board, and the teacher threw threw the board eraser at her. I mean, this is back in the 70s.
Sure,
So for
sure.
like 43 years, she thought she was rubbish at maths because the teacher said, you're rubbish at maths. Because at that age, like I said, children think very black and white and don't think, oh, maybe the teacher was in a bad mood. Maybe they
Right.
had a flat tire, an argument with their
Sure.
partner, the cat scratched them or
Louder.
whatever.
Yes, yes.
We just take it in as like, oh, that's our fault. Because somebody in authority said it, they must be right, and I'm not rubbish. I'm rubbish at maths. And she needed to pass a maths exam to get a promotion with her job. So she called me and said, I need some help to like break through my belief about this. And it was quite funny really because she had to do a maths and an English exam. I said, would you want some help with your English? She went, no, I'm good with my English. I'm like, okay, that's brilliant. And she phoned me up after. She said, you never guess. She said, I passed my maths and failed my English. She said, I should have got you to coach you with my English as well. But yeah, there you go. But after that, she didn't have that belief anymore after she'd worked with me because she realized that it was just how the teacher felt on that particular day.
Exactly.
And everybody, I think, can look back and remember their favorite teacher at school and their teacher that they dreaded at school. And some people probably should never have been teachers, but
I would
especially
agree.
back in the 70s when we'd get a clip across the back of their head or something
Yeah, it
thrown
was
at us.
definitely different than it is today, yes.
It is, yeah. And it's understanding that. So in this understanding how we feel about the thing that's going on. So if, like I said, about the example of you popping down the store to get some milk or stand up on
Right.
stage, when you want to do something, notice how your body reacts. Because if you logically think, I'd love to do that, and you suddenly go, the minute you even do that slight it sends a signal to your subconscious mind to say, uh-oh, danger. So you go into that fight or flight and you think, I can't do that. It's not safe
Right.
because I've got a reaction. But if you actually want to do something and your body doesn't react, you go ahead and do it because your subconscious mind think, okay, we're safe to do that. We can go ahead and do that.
Right.
So it's noticing how our bodies react. And if your
Okay.
body keeps reacting to certain things, then it's a good thing to really get curious about it and find out why I'm reacting like that. And, like I said, anybody that's listening to this can give me a shout, send me an email and they can have a 20-minute complimentary call with me and I'll help them out as best I can in those 20 minutes and, see if I can like recommend something or if they want to carry on working with me, that'd be great or whatever they need. But yeah, it's just noticing how our body is because our body is what's actually going to control what we actually end up doing. Because if we suddenly go, that's
Yeah.
scary, we'll have that procrastination come in, that sabotage come in, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
won't go ahead and do it.
No, that is true. So it kind of gives me a different perspective on people that are, like to have a bad day. They've had a bad day and it's not personal. I think people in the United States definitely need to take that to heart because we're so wound up here. Um, especially in the cities. And you've been to California, you know how they drive and stuff, and they take it personally, and it's not personally. You need to just know that maybe they're having a bad day, like the teacher in the
Yeah.
example. I think that is very good wisdom there. So don't take things personally, and yeah, I may have to seek out, I may have to seek you out before I do talking on stage. It's just my mind says it, but I just wonder. I'd probably be so sick before doing that.
Yeah.
Um, that would be that is where
There's a story there that
yeah,
needs to
there
be
is. And actually, I
sorted.
had a gentleman who I admire greatly. He told me I'd be a great speaker yesterday, and which is nice. It was, but it's my mind, my mind took that in. I don't know if my
Yeah.
body did. It did the.
Yeah.
Well,
And that is, and like you said, your adult self took that in completely. But that little boy that got the award for being the quietest person in the
yeah,
class to protect
yeah,
himself,
yeah,
that little boy is like, whoa, no, that means that we have to make a noise and that's not safe.
yeah,
So that's
yeah,
what your body's doing. It's like your inner child is going, no, that's not
yeah,
safe. No, 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 no. And what I do, how I help is to help your mind and your body actually agree and get into alignment. So then you can go off and do the things you want to do. Because I help you to reconnect with your inner child, find out what's really going on with your inner child and change how your inner child feels and let them know that they're okay now and that they're safe. And that's the deeper work I do, obviously, in the sessions and stuff. So
very
yeah,
good.
we can have a talk about that sometime later when you want to. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because
it'd be great to see you on stage.
yeah, I know I'm going to do it. It's just getting to that point. The path is. I know it's happening. It's just not knowing sure how that's going to happen or what. I told my wife the other day. It's like I'm going to speak on stage. And she's like, "When?" It's like, "I don't know. I just know that I have that calling, that feeling that it's gonna happen." And it helps when you have good friends tell you he thinks you'll be great on stage. But like you
Yeah.
say, the little boy is like, yeah, we'll see about that one."
And the thing is, it's like when that calling comes, wouldn't it be great to be ready and that your little boy,
Yes.
your body and your mind are like eager to go ahead? So
Yep.
yeah, rather than wait until somebody says, "Can you speak in like 2 weeks' time?"
Yeah.
And to like think, "Okay, I need to talk to Brooke." Think about it
Immediately.
before that, so you're like ready, because then when you're ready, those
Uh-huh.
speaking events will appear.
True. I love that. Yep, that is awesome. I mean, I believe God crosses people's paths for a reason, and I think that was one of the many. I think, and Brooke, I'm so glad he did cross our path, and I think I will end the podcast there unless you have anything else you'd like to add. You've been great. I love having you as a guest, and maybe we'll have to do a follow up. Maybe we'll have to do a follow up after I've spoken.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
It would be, and, yeah, be on either side of that. That'd be pretty cool. So, I'm gonna end the podcast there. So, enjoy the rest of your day. You're quite a ways ahead of ahead of me in my day. So, but thank you for joining us on the Dreamcatcher podcast, and we'll be talking soon.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. Take
Okay.
care. Bye.